If you're an American citizen, you probably recognize these two terms, Republican and Democrat. The Republican and Democrat parties are the two most popular political parties in the USA today. In a lot of political debates on the media coverage we see today, they oppose, which is why a lot of their opinions are showcased. Although some of this coverage can be quite boring, it's actually very helpful in maybe deciding which president you want to support or which party you want to support. I'll be talking about that today. Welcome to ELP Current Ed, Video 2, Political Parties. I'd like to start by talking about some of the general characteristics of the Republican and Democrat parties. For example, Republicans are usually perceived as more conservative, which means that they don't like change or would rather stay with the traditional way of things. While Democrats are usually perceived as more liberal, which means they like change or they would like to move away from the traditional way of doing things. In order to better understand some of the opinions of these two parties, I would like to talk about three major topics that are in a lot of the debates today. So my first topic is taxes. As working American citizens, we are required to pay taxes, which means that part of our income goes to the IRS or the Internal Revenue Service. The reason we do this is because that money goes into things like defense, which is the outer defense, military, social security, healthcare like the new Affordable Care Act, and infrastructure like fixing new roads, building new bridges, etc. Now when it comes to the opinions on taxes, it's actually quite complicated. The Republicans would probably want the money to remain in the hands of the middle class and upper class because they would expect the upper class and middle class to continue to invest in businesses, therefore growing the economy that way. While the Democratic opinion would probably want the upper class to be bringing more money into the tax pool so that government programs can continue to thrive, and they also feel that upper class has more money to spare.
To get a better perspective on the Democratic opinion, I've pulled a quote from the 2012 Democratic Party platform on tax reforms. President Obama and Democrats in Congress cut taxes from every working family, putting more money in the pockets of Americans who need it most. A typical family has saved $3,600 during his first term. Now he's fighting to stop middle-class families and those aspiring to join the middle class from seeing their taxes go up and to extend key tax relief for working families and those paying for college, while asking the wealthiest and corporations to pay their fair share. This quote shows the Democratic opinion on whether more money should go to the middle class. It tells us that the Democratic Party would rather have more money in the hands of the middle class than the business owners or wealthy entrepreneurs in the country.
For my next topic, I would like to talk about immigration. Immigration, as most of you probably know already, is the movement of people from different countries and cultures into America in hope of a permanent living arrangement. Republicans would encourage the idea of work visas, which basically means that you would give a work visa to an immigrant coming to America, which means a temporary living arrangement for that immigrant still working for America, helping the economy. Now, there is always the controversy of whether immigrants coming to America are taking the jobs that perhaps unemployed American citizens can take, but Democrats would counter that with that immigrants are taking the jobs that most Americans don't want. The final topic I would like to talk about in this video is foreign policy. Foreign policy is a lot like it sounds. It kind of flips the focus from the internal conflicts to the external conflicts. It's basically anything to do with other countries that are not the United States and how the United States deals with anything that might be going on in that country. Republicans would more likely shift their focus onto the external conflict with foreign policy. This is different than the Democrats because Democrats like to focus on the internal conflict like unemployment, etc.
In many cases, Republicans have supported the increase of military and foreign policy throughout American history and do play a major role in the decisions regarding what should be done with global issues and conflict. Here's an example from the 2012 Republican Party platform to further emphasize the Republican opinion on foreign policy and foreign aid. Foreign aid should serve our national interests, an essential part of which is the peaceful development of less advanced and vulnerable societies in critical parts of the world. This quote is saying that it is important to focus on international countries. Since the U.S. is an imperialist country, it is not easy to keep peace. This quote shows that Republicans believe that in order to keep peace, we should help countries that are struggling and create allies. This shifts the focus from America's internal issues to how America is seen in the world. Though the Republican and Democrat parties are dominant in majority and power in the United States, there are a few third parties you may consider. The Green Party was founded in 1984 and continues as an organization today. The Green Party's ideology is centered around ecological restoration, social equality, and peace. In the 2008 Green Party platform, it displays strong feelings towards respecting an individual's right to live. For example, it states this: "One of our key principles is respect for diversity," and "We affirm the right of each individual to the exercise of conscience and religion." This quote emphasizes the importance of an individual's rights. Another third party is the Libertarian Party, which was founded in 1971. The Libertarian Party's ideology focuses on upholding the rights of the individual, preferring what is most beneficial for the individual's opinion and needs, where nobody needs to sacrifice for the benefit of others. In their adopted national platform, they emphasize this principle. Individuals should be free to make choices for themselves and to accept responsibility for the consequences of the choices they make. No individual, group, or government may initiate force against another individual, group, or government. Our support of an individual's right to make choices in life does not mean that we necessarily approve or disapprove of those choices. This ideology is very modern. It is saying that it is important to make sure that everyone is able to choose a life path for themselves. It is not judged for it or kept from it. Kind of an interesting perspective to look at.
These two third parties are examples of many, and if you're interested, I would encourage you to go research further. So hopefully this video gave you insight on which parties you might want to support or which presidential candidates you might look into, and hopefully this can help you make better decisions. So leave a like or a comment below. I would really love to see feedback, and thanks for watching.